47 yellow cards, 30 goals, 10 games played, 7 red cards, only 4 teams winning, 2 coaches sent off, and that's 1 weekend in the Serie A.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. That's all that can be said.
What a weekend it was. I mean, I missed another number. 3 90th minute plus goals.
Yeah.
3 game tying goals in Cagliari Roma, Sassuolo Fiorentina, and Lazio Sampdoria. We saw the first one. So I was actually watching Cagliari and Roma. Did you catch that game at all?
Yeah. First off, so you're listening to the Calcio Guys?
Yeah,
I
forgot to mention that.
Yeah. No, I did watch that one. Crazy games, as you said. 3 late goals. You can't get any more drama than that, and it was definitely exciting to watch.
This is what Marco Sau's goal sounded like.
Scenes here in Sardinia Arena. It's not over yet as that ball again hangs in the air, played through the middle. Chance here! Sau, the equaliser! Incredible! Marco Sau at the death, and Cagliari thoroughly deserve their point.
They came back from 2-0 with 2 goals after the 80th minute. Their first goal was about the 85th.
Yeah.
And then that second goal was down to 9 men. So Cagliari picks up 2 red cards in the 93rd minute, and Marco Sau ties the game in the 95th. Roma, I mean, they shot themselves in the foot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's another story, another day with Roma there, another weekend where missed opportunity. The defense, they definitely shot themselves in the foot. They, another defensive error. That's what's kind of been, I think hindering them a bit these past weeks and these past games for them, Champions League included. So, it's been kind of a hot mess. But what a way to go for Cagliari. That's a big win. A big win in the sense that they got to pick up points. They did tie 2-2, and Mr. Cagliari, Marco Sau, man, he's up there in age, but he's getting it done. So it's good.
So now Cagliari is one of 3 or 4 teams in the Serie A who's actually undefeated at home. You're listening to the Calcio Guys with Gian and Nardo, Gianni Delacoli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni.
Wait, Gianni!
Looks like I walked in at the right moment, huh? Di Francesco out, please.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. So we were just talking about it, the 2-2 draw. You saw Di Francesco smiling at the end.
Oh my God!
You think he keeps his job?
How about Montello?
Honestly, it's weird because it's like he's in his position to continue on in Champions League. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're having success in Champions League, but then you have that ugly display when Cagliari is down by 2 men, and in the last minute, nobody's running back to defend. Like everyone's just like sleeping on the job. It was crazy how that goal happened. It was like there was no. I'm lost for words right now. There was no drive to keep that win. It's like the players don't want to play for him. You know what it is? They don't want they're not fighting for it. They don't understand how serious they slipped down to 8th.
Yeah.
And that was a win that they could have had to bring them back up into like at least the top 6 spots. But no, you have to. Oh my God.
Gianni's not too happy.
No, I'm not.
Another team that blew a late lead, Sassuolo at home, and Fiorentina came back to tie that one. This is what that last goal by Kevin Morales sounded like.
He'll be picked up by Pezzella. They have men running off him. The centre-back still going, rolls it in, Mirelas for the draw, he's done it, can you believe it? Fiorentina, back from the dead, a quite incredible game of football at the Mappe.
Nice goal by Mirelas at the end. Commentator said Mirelas, or however he said it, but yeah. That's another, who do you think is more disappointed, Sassuolo or Roma?
Probably Roma.
Definitely Roma.
Yeah, definitely Roma. Johnny kind of nailed it on the head there. These are points that they needed. They're slipping down the standings, and they need to pick up these points against teams that they should be getting these points. So, Cagliari, they're not the better teams in Serie A, but they gave them a fight, and they stole points from Roma, and I think the Romanistas are definitely sad after that one. It's
not even just this week; it's last week too. That was another missed opportunity to get some points, and they have control of their games, and at the last minute, or not last minute, but overall they quit. They don't have that drive. They don't have that pack mentality. Like Sassuolo, yeah, sure, they did kind of lose it in the end, but well, not lose it. They kind of like let it slip from them in the end. But then again, they're two teams that are near each other in the standings. They're two teams that are kind of fighting for the same spot. So it's a team of equal quality. So you're gonna have to expect that the other team's gonna bring about the same fight as you. Mind you, we know that Fiorentina can be better, but but it's not that like let's be perfectly frank here. It's like the quality on Fiorentina is not as high as the quality on Roma right now. Not disrespecting Fiorentina, they're an up and coming team.
You mean Sassuolo?
Well, no, I'm just talking about like
okay.
in relation to the Sassuolo Fiorentina match.
Yeah.
So, but like, think about it like this. Yeah, Fiorentina could be a better team, but you know what? Right now they're in the middle of a packed team. But Roma drawing against Cagliari, a team that's near the bottom, well, middle bottom. I'm sorry, no, there's no excuses for that. So that's why I would say the Roma draw is much more of a disappointment for Roma than it is for Sassuolo against Fiorentina.
Definitely agreed.
It wasn't the best of weekend for the Roman teams. We saw Lazio Saturday afternoon, a late drama in this one.
Immobile against Aldero and scores! A goal to help them escape the clutches of another dreaded draw. Oh, goodness, they have! Saponara 2-2 in the 99th minute.
99th minute goal. How often does that happen in any league? A regulation game, After Immobile scores in the 92nd, 93rd about, Saponara goes out and scores his wonder goal.
Yeah.
Amazing goal di tacco, as they say in Italian.
Yeah.
Back heel. And it was just mind-blowing. Sampdoria on the road did that, and you saw their celebration after.
Yeah.
You saw
one hell of a celebration.
Ricky Saponara goes to the Sampdoria fans in the curva and actually gets his clothes taken off of him.
Yeah. any piece they could grab from him, they'll take, I guess. But no, that was crazy. The announcer even said, that Immobile goal probably would have sealed it for Lazio, but Saponara and Sampdoria, touch of brilliance at the end there, the last kick of the game pretty much, and they managed to pass Odero and. Strakosha, and he went into the crowd, pure emotion. It was pretty amazing to watch. I was pretty shocked, to be honest with you, because you don't see that very often. But in the Serie A, you never know what you're gonna get.
I think we should really credit that draw mostly to Odero, the goalie for Sampdoria. I mean, the guy made 10 saves out of 12 shots on target. One of them was a penalty shot, so obviously it's hard to kind of save those. And the other one was pretty much three guys just near the net on the corner. What can he do? Yeah, their first goal was a corner, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I forget.
No, Lazio's first goal was a corner.
Well, no, the Cherby goal.
Yeah, Cherby.
Okay. Yeah.
Bad defending too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can't those two goals. Yeah, you can give him a pass, but 10 saves. It's rare that you get more than, let's say, 3 or 4 in an actual match.
Yeah.
If you have great defending, so I think the players should really be patting his back because that draw happened because he was there to help them out.
No, for sure.
They've had to pat his back quite a few times this year.
Yep.
He's been a fantastic goalie for Sampdoria.
Yeah.
So out of these 3 comeback wins, which one was your favorite?
Which one was my favorite?
Or comeback draws, actually.
Well, I mean, as me and you just discussed, we couldn't really catch the Fiorentina Sassuolo game. It's way too early for me, 6:30. But no, that definitely was a good game. But personally, I think maybe because I watched it a bit more, the Lazio Sampdoria game for me was ridiculous. That, as we said, the goal at the end is just, you don't see that very often, and pure emotion and what a game. Johnny said, 10 saves for Odero. This was a game that was one to watch, and it definitely paid up to that. And these are two good teams. Both teams slipping up, I guess, in the standings there with the points and all that. But you know what, a 2-2 draw. Lazio Samp, I'll definitely take it.
I'm going to go with Sassuolo Fiorentina. There's no way I'm going near that Roma game because I've already vented my emotions and it's just going to get me angry. But I think the best game out of those comeback games, I guess, would be Sassuolo Fiorentina because it's 3 goals on each side, 6 total,
All in the second half, too.
Yeah, back and forth, a lot of intensity. Teams that are kind of in the same position in the standing, so they both really know what these games stand for. So there's much more meaning to the Sassuolo Fiorentina game.
And Fiorentina got their offense finally going a bit. 3 goals they hadn't scored in a little while there.
Simeone finally scored 2.
Yeah, so that's pretty refreshing to see.
So you said Lazio Samp, you went Sassuolo Fiorentina, so I'll go Cagliari Roma. You gotta love to see these kind of smaller teams do well in front of their home fans, and that's exactly what happened with Cagliari when their hometown guys, Marco Sau, scored. Yeah. I was watching that game, and I was just kind of making lunch, whatever, and I saw that goal, and I was freaking out,
Me too, yeah.
It was just like, what just happened, and what's happening next on the Calcio Guys. We're going to talk a bit about the most boring game of the week.
Oh god.
I think you know what's coming up. You're listening to the Calcio Guys on CJO 1690.
Matsari has been sent off here, been asked to leave, not for the first time in his Serie A career, and not indeed for the last, I'm sure.
That was probably the most exciting part of Milan-Torino when Walter Mazzari got sent off. This is the Calcio Guys on CJO 1690 with Adriano Donardo, Gianni Del Colli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. So, remember what I said last week?
I do.
You do, huh?
I don't remember.
Okay, Gianni doesn't remember, so
Refresh my memory.
I'll play it back. This is last week. You guys said 2-1 Milan, and Torino's not a team I'm supposed to love either. I don't know. Okay, let's go with the 0-0 draw, actually.
No, you can't do me like that 0-0.
It's not me.
If I go to Chicharo and get 0-0, I'm going to fume.
Did you fume, Adriano?
I fumed. I was unfortunately at home, and I was definitely fuming. You know what? It's again Milan missed opportunity. In this weekend, and with all the teams around them that that drop points, Inter drop points. Lazio, Roma obviously slipping too, and this is an opportunity for them to have some breathing room, and they kind of shot themselves in the foot. They didn't lose, so I guess that's sort of a positive, but they got the 0-0 draw against Torino, as you said, last week, and you know what? I like their performance. Their performance is just they couldn't finish. They couldn't produce, and they had the opportunities. They had the possession. They just couldn't finish. You know what? I'm gonna have to give credit where credit's due. Gigio Donnarumma definitely stood on his head this game. Milan fans definitely give him a lot of flack. To make that timely save, and he made it time and time again. But you know what? It was the offense that couldn't get it going, and they couldn't score. So unfortunately, that's how it ended 0-0 Milan Torino. But I would have definitely expected more for that Milan side.
Nice rhythm and flow to the way that Torino are going about their business. Free header, Iago Falque, and a terrific save by Donnarumma.
So we also saw this weekend Juve picked up more points in the Derby d'Italia against Inter Milan. Mandzukic scoring again. Chiellini with masterclass performance, and but their lead on top of the Serie A didn't grow thanks to Napoli's 4-0 victory against Frosinone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call it a derby, but I mean Campania and Lazio regions are right next to each other, so
Yeah.
Frosinone didn't have to go that far south. And 4 goals for Napoli. I mean, typical offense.
Yeah, it was just Napoli showcasing why it has the best offense in Serie A. They have, like I said, they could just rotate any guy at any moment to put on there to score goals, and they just managed to find ways to put it in the back of the net. So whenever there's games where it's actually a low-scoring game for Napoli versus opponents that they could actually score more, that's where I get really frustrated, because I know that their offense is not only capable from their strikers, but as you can see in this game, there were some goals that came from the midfield, such as Zielinski and Unas. So it's like they have guys that are able to score. But the thing I want to actually underlined during this game, sorry, I had to clear my throat there, was actually Goulam's first game back. He gets 2 assists.
Yeah.
Guy looked really good. Honestly, much more refreshing to see him play rather than Mario Rui. So it was a pleasure to actually see that. Somebody who's actually not playing with the flaps on. Somebody who's actually aware of what's going on. Like that assist on the Milik goal, on Milik's last goal. Yeah, sure, Milik was all by himself, pretty much in the box. Nobody was watching him. But for the fact that like that low cross just managed to get around all the defenders, just to right on the right foot of Milik, it was beautiful.
Yeah, great for Goulam. He came back from an ACL injury that he suffered last
November 2017 is when he actually got it.
Yeah, they said 500 plus days, I think.
Yeah,
back playing.
And then also Andrea Conti came back this weekend.
Yeah.
Was he on the starting lineup?
No. He didn't play there. But,
Okay.
He's been working back. He's been on the bench these past couple of games. So
okay,
he's has to ease him in.
He's on the bench. He's another player that suffered a ACL injury last October, actually. So that's 14 months out of action. It's nice to hear when guys battle back from these injuries.
Also, Meret this game. This game was his first game back. He gets a shutout. That's really good for him. That's good for his confidence.
For sure.
So we saw Genoa last week fired their head coach once again, and Cesare Prandelli comes in. So now, actually, all 20 coaches in the Serie A are Italian. And Prandelli, too bad we couldn't see Prandelli and Ventura and Antonio Conte in the city at the same time. But he comes out with a 1-1 draw against Spal.
Yeah, no,
with 10 men.
He looked good, Prandelli. You know what? He came off. It wasn't one of the tougher opponents there, but Spal's a good team and not a pushover team, and Genoa definitely stood their own too. But they got the draw in Prandelli's first game, so I guess I think he'll definitely take that in his opening game.
He's basically coming into a new environment with a new squad. So not overall new squad, but a draw is always good for a manager because it doesn't destroy your confidence like a loss, but it helps show that you're maybe might have something to good to work with.
You can build off that.
Yeah, definitely. And Prandelli is not a terrible manager. He's decent enough. He's great. He's great when you have young forwards. I find he's great when he's a guy that you want to try a 3-striker system. He's great with that. So, and we can see that Genoa has moments where they have like flashes of offensive brilliance, and then there's times where they're just like not there. So maybe Prandelli could actually capitalize on that, and he might actually be a great fit for the team.
Definitely.
Let's go red cards, yellow cards of the week. Got a couple of minutes before, got about 7 minutes before Alex Perez joins us to talk about some Champions League. Completely forgot about that. I mean, such a big week in the Serie A this past week. And then there's Champions League Matchday 6. We'll talk about a bit about that later, but red cards, yellow cards. Can I take this one off?
Yeah, for sure.
Let me
Go
take
ahead.
this one off.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give a red card to Paolo Mazzolini, the ref in the Cagliari Roma match, for him flexing his muscles a bit too much. Like, weird flex, but okay, type of situation where he ejected Rolando Moran in about the 90th minute, and then gave a red to Dario Serna and Luca Cipitelli, both in the 93rd.
It's Serna been sent off. Yes, it is Serna. Red card for the fullback. And yellow card. 2 players sent off.
You heard it there. 2 players sent off, just like that. Coach and 2 players sent off. I don't like when referees flex their muscles, try to control the game, especially late in this. Cagliari was down by 1. You knew how much of an effect it would have had on the game. It needed a miracle goal from Marco Sao.
But the straight red was somewhat deserved. You went cleats up towards the keeper's face. Like you're aware of which you are, and the key. It's in the rules.
I know.
Cleats up.
Okay, sure. Cipitelli's is acceptable. Serna, for arguing, come on, man. Kicking Moran out, come on.
That I'll give you.
Come on.
That I'll give you.
If you wanna punish them, make them a referee report after the game. Make them get suspended after the game. You don't have to kick them out. Just fine. Cleats up. It's an obvious red. But then kicking everyone else out, that's a red for me.
This is going to be a red card, and is that going to change the course of the game?
You, Adriano?
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna have to go. For a player from Milan there, Gonzalo Higuain, his first game back after suspension, 2 games, and he came in there and figuring that he would be back to his old self, but it wasn't clicking. I don't know. He made some pretty bad decisions on the counterattacks, and definitely had opportunities to score or to get an assist, and he just wasn't that guy for Milan that they needed it up top. Cutrone does his best. He's a young guy, and he definitely feeds off a leader like Higuain, but Higuain for me was kind of a no-show, and they really was detrimental for our result because they needed the goals because their defense and Donnarumma stood on their head. So for me, I'm gonna have to give a red card for Gonzalo Higuain.
That's not the first time he gets a red ccard.
Not this season.
And the red card is out.
Johnny?
Can I just give a red card to you because I don't like them? Can we do that?
No.
I'm gonna actually have to give a. You guys gave reds and yellows. Okay, fine. I'll just sway a bit. I'll give
you could give a penalty kick.
No. Do we have a clip for that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so no, screw it. I won't give a penalty kick for Roma. I would actually give a penalty kick against Roma as overall for their attitude towards their recent games. They've really let a lot of games slip between their fingers, and they really need to shake things up because right now the whole dressing room seems morbid. It just seems like nobody cares anymore, which is bad because you're reaching towards the end of the group stage as a champions, and you're reaching the halfway point of the Serie A season, which is a bad time to be demotivated.
And it's going to be a penalty kick. The referee has pointed to the spot. It was a mistimed challenge inside the box.
Mistiming for Roma. MVP of the week, player of the week, whatever we want to call them.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely, as we mentioned before, an exciting week in Serie A, as it usually is. For me, you know what? I'm going to have to give my MVP of the week to Duvan Zapata. in that Atalanta-Udinese game. We haven't really talked about it too much, but I think there's definitely some means in that game. And Zapata there, against his ex-team in Udinese, he scored a hat trick. So he really put the team on his back, literally, and carried them to victory against Udinese there. So for me, I'm going to have to give my MVP of the week to Duvan Zapata.
He's got Zapata to his left, Barrow getting forward as well. Hattaball might have to go himself, instead feeds Zapata for the hat-trick. Devastating.
You, Johnny?
Well, see, let's hope Zapata doesn't do that against his former team in Napoli too. So good. That's a good choice for MVP of the week. Since I'll go with somebody different, I'll go with Aldero. 10 saves on 12 shots. Like I said before, one of them was a penalty shot, so it's kind of hard. You have a 1 in 3 chance of saving that, and the other one was just poor defending. So overall, I think Aldero had a solid game, and the reason why Sampdoria managed to crawl that way out of that game with a draw.
And for me, I'm actually going to go kind of a minor player we don't really talk about ever, Antonino Lagumina, who scored the winning goal for Empoli against Bologna. And why I'm giving it to him, he's actually Sicilian, and I actually forgot to put him on our regional roster teams.
Yeah, top 11.
Because for forwards, I had actually Mario Balotelli and Emanuele Calaio from Parma.
Yeah.
So Lagumina, I would have given it to Ciccio Caputo for his recent play, but Lagumina had the 80th minute winner to give Empoli another 3 points.
Young guy too.
And they're in 14th now. They're slowly climbing out of that relegation zone.
Perez's low cross. Zayt gets there, and it comes off Lagumina. And has it been given? It's a goal. Lagumina gives Empoli the lead. 11 minutes before the end. This could be a crucial goal for Empoli.
You're about to say something?
Caputo's slowly climbing up the scoring table. He's got 8 goals right now.
Ciccio!
I love him.
Yeah, he's almost there. The top scorer is 11 because Piontek got a penalty goal today. This week. So, I mean, he's almost there.
Yeah,
he is, and he's an exciting player to watch because he came from the Serie B. He scored his first Serie A goal this season.
Yeah,
and he's just continued scoring. He's an exciting player to watch. We talked about it a few weeks ago. There was a picture of him holding up his phone, and his phone case is him, number 11, Caputo, number 11. You got to have that style, and good for Empoli. They got great fans down there, and you know what? I remember Adriano, they won their first game, and we were kind of joking around that they'd go on to win, pull Leicester City and go on to win the Serie A. But
you never know, man.
They're not going to win the league, but they could definitely pull themselves out of relegation.
Yes, I do think so too.
Relegation.
I don't know how to speak English.
English 101 on the Calcio Guys.
Anyways, you're listening to the Calcio Guys on CJO 690. Coming up, Alex Perez talks about Liverpool.
Nicely by Metz. Kaya Hahn. Insigne! They've left it late, but the local boy has secured surely 3 Champions League points for Napoli.
Welcome back to the Calcio Guys with Adriano Donardo, Gianni Delacoli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. So, Liverpool hosts Napoli today. You just heard Insigne's goal. Last time Napoli hosted Liverpool in the Champions League. And we have Alex Perez, former sports editor at The Link and current news editor on the line with us. Alex, how's it going?
Hey, guys. Not too bad. Thanks for having me on.
And so, Alex, Liverpool, they have to win today to advance to the Champions League round of 16. I mean, safe to say it's the biggest game of their season?
Yeah, so far, definitely, up until they play Manchester City in the Premier League. But definitely, this is probably, this is definitely their biggest game of the season. It's going to be exactly like Jurgen Klopp said it would be. It's a final. It's a final at Anfield this early on. And the pressure's on them and the pressure's on Napoli.
Yeah, no, for sure. Very well said. This game, as we said, very important. If they don't get the result, how crucial is that, or how disappointing is that for Liverpool season? A team that made it all the way to the final a year ago. So, what would you think about that?
Oh no, for sure, it's a downgrade if they don't manage to get a result today, and they're going to be forced to play in the Europa League. But it'll definitely be a disappointment for Klopp's team, especially for the project that he's been putting in for the past 3 to 4 seasons now. And obviously, he's built a team that doesn't only want to compete domestically, but also wants to compete on the world stage and on the European stage. And they're on their way to becoming an elite club. But if they lose today, it's obviously 2 steps back for them. But if they do go into the Europa League, I'm going to assume that Jurgen Klopp is going to take that very seriously in order to get some silverware to the club.
For sure.
First off, before I say my question, I'm just going to say good luck to your team as they face my team today in Champions League at 3.
Yeah, I heard I heard the Insigne goal while I was waiting on the line, and it kind of cut deep.
Yeah, that game itself, I honestly was trashing Callejon the whole time, but somehow he just pulls that amazing pass. But anyways, I'm going to get off topic here. My question is that what do you think it's going to take for Liverpool to actually beat Napoli today at Anfield?
It's going to take who they have on their bench, and unfortunately, he's not starting today. It's Naby Keita. It's absolutely Naby Keita. Over the past 2 games, he's shown that he's a player that's been missing. It's the missing link at Liverpool. They're still undefeated in the league, and it's a huge plus for them. But at the beginning of the year, you saw their attack wasn't as fluent as it was last season, and that's due to the fact that they don't have a mobile midfielder. Last season, their Champions League run, a lot of people might say otherwise, but Oxlade-Chamberlain was, that was the player to watch at midfield. His ability to bring the ball up, his ability to create an attacking role also was vital into that Champions League run. And Naby Keita, right now, he seems to have settled in, and he's doing the same exact thing. Philippe Coutinho, before he left, he was that midfielder. He was that link between the front 3 and the midfield between whether it's Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, or James Milner. So it's that link. It's that link between the attack and the midfield. And unfortunately, we might not even see that today. Obviously, Klopp wants to go with a more experienced midfielder with Henderson and Milner and Gini Wijnaldum. But to me, that's what it would take. It's unfortunate to see Naby Keita on the bench, especially with Leipzig last season when they faced Napoli in the Europa League, if I'm not mistaken. He absolutely bossed that midfield against them and was a key player in that win. For me, that's the missing link. That's the part of the game that's been missing, and we saw it over the last 2 games with Burnley and Bournemouth. Liverpool and Naby Keita absolutely stellar in that midfield, and it's that fluency at midfielder in that midfield. Sorry, that's been missing, and unfortunately, we might not see that for a majority of the game today.
So you're talking about the midfield, and one thing Napoli is very good at is their wing play. We see Lorenzo Insigne, see Jose Callejon, and Liverpool has some young fullbacks in Andrew Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. How have you liked their performances this season?
Well, first off, Andrew Robertson is, if it wasn't for Marcos Alonso, I'd argue he's the best left back in the English Premier League. One of the best left backs in the world, I think. He's been informed. He's a player that on any team you can trust him. Absolutely trust him. For Trent's side, obviously for his age, he's doing a great job. But that's going to be where I think Napoli are going to try and exploit Liverpool is on that right hand side. Unless Salah chooses to do his defensive duties and come back and to help the young right back out, I think that's going to be a key battle for Napoli is on that right hand side and to test out Trent Alexander-Arnold. But overall, they've been great. Trent is obviously, he's still young, he's still inexperienced. So there's a few games where he might seem a bit choppy. His passes might not be on point. He might not read the game as much as James Milner can, or Henderson can, or Fabinho can, or maybe even Van Dijk on the back line. But he's still a young player. He's probably my top recipient to receive the Golden Boy prize. Sorry, I was blanking out on that. But I think both fullbacks have been great. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I think both fullbacks have been really, really good for Liverpool, and it's been hard to come by for them for a number of years, and to get a right back and a left back that Jurgen Klopp can trust and to start consistently, it's not easy to come by.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely, trust is, is definitely a big thing with younger guys and stuff like that. Another position that you have to put quite a bit of faith in is your goalkeeper. And Liverpool definitely got an upgrade in that position with Alisson there coming in over Karius. What do you think about him, the move, his play, and what he brings to Liverpool?
Where do I begin? Honestly, where do I begin? Yeah, you kind of got me with that one. Honestly, it's Alisson. It's not just an upgrade. It's huge. It was huge, and obviously for that price tag, he's more than justified it. And I would say that for any keeper who comes into the Premier League and makes an instant impact. Thibaut Courtois, when he went back to Chelsea, absolute stellar in between the posts, Hugo Lloris as well. And for Liverpool to finally get their hands on an elite goalkeeper is massive. And the way he reads the game, not only on a defensive standpoint, but on an offensive standpoint, is absolutely vital for this team, especially for an attacking team like Liverpool. The way he incites the forward play is not something you can come by a lot. And, obviously for a guy like Manuel Neuer at Bayern Munich is someone that obviously, a lot of modern goalkeepers are influenced by. And to have someone that kind of emulates that style, it's huge. There's nothing really else I could say about Alisson. There's no criticisms. He's been great. He does take a lot of risks, but he seems to have toned that down. And, obviously, I think, one goal conceded at Anfield, and that one goal was against Napoli, they played away. But one goal conceded at Anfield, that's a stellar record in my opinion, and he has the most clean sheets in the English Premier League. So he's going to be key. He's going to be key for Liverpool, and obviously he's been having a great start.
Absolutely.
So speaking on the behalf for Napoli, honestly, I was sad to see Sadi leave the Serie A to go join Chelsea in the Premier League, but you've probably seen him now a bit more often now than I have. What's your opinion on him, and do you feel like as if he brings a new element to the Premier League, or do you feel like as if he's someone who's like not going to get it?
No, I think he's got it. I think he's really got it. I think he's brought a new style to Chelsea. We've typically seen a Chelsea team under Mourinho and several other coaches down the years that they've had. It's always been a more defensive-minded approach. They've always enjoyed breaking up attacking teams, but now you see with Maurizio Sarri coming in, Maurizio Sarri coming in, he's developed a team that's more fluent in their play. It's very Guardiola-esque, I would say, but it's a lot more of an attacking team. It's a more exciting team, and that's what Sarri brings. That's the style they call Sarri ball. That's what he brings to the Premier League, and it's exciting to see. His record speaks for himself. What was it, 7-0 or 8-0 at the beginning of the year, and one of 3 clubs at the time who were undefeated. So he's on his way. I think Chelsea in general, they have a few gaps to fill. I'm not really convinced by David Luiz. It's a player that I really questioned on why they brought back, but obviously he came up in a crucial moment against Man City in a 2-0 victory, but there's gaps on that Chelsea team. And if Sarri does get to stay at the end of the season, because with Chelsea, it's always head coaches, it's always a questionable thing with them. But if he gets to stay, beyond one season into the second season, I totally think Chelsea can be cup contenders.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the Calcio Guys, Alex.
We really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on, and best of luck to Napoli.
Yeah, best of luck to Liverpool.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Ciao, have a good one. So you heard it there from Alex. It would be a major disappointment for Liverpool to win. So we'll get a jump start on our predictions. So Champions League.
Did you say major disappointment for Liverpool to win?
To lose.
Oh,
to lose. It would be a major disappointment for Napoli.
You're all over the shop today.
Hey, I finished school last Monday. My brain's checked out.
Johnny was late. You have no excuse. No,
I like the shirt, Johnny, though.
Thank you.
Nice classic Italian polo.
For once, I'm the one who's actually wearing something with the Italian brand, and you're wearing a hoodie.
Concordia journalism, represent.
All right.
And so Napoli is at Anfield, and then another big game for Inter. So they host PSV, but they have to be scoreboard watching as Tottenham is in Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's you know what? A lot of people saying it's an easier path for Inter, but Barca, their starting lineup doesn't look too good.
No, okay, I'll go first, I guess. Yeah. I think Barca knows that there's like almost no pressure on them, so they feel like as if they could take the opportunity to not consider this game a waste, but not stress too much, or they don't have this game circled on their calendar. Let's say that. So for them, it's another walk in the park. They're playing at home too, so it's like they don't really have any. Like they have the fans behind them, but they don't have pressure on them because I believe they already won the group, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. They won the group, so now it's up to Inter and Tottenham.
Yeah, so now it's most likely it's going to be Tottenham going to taking the fight to Barca, and they are capable of getting a result from Barca, but it's hard on the road. It's really hard. So I think Inter does have. It's not an easy path, but they do have a way to make it into the next round.
They need it. So if Inter wins, Tottenham needs to win to advance.
Yes.
So if Tottenham wins, Inter's done. So that's a big thing, Tottenham has to get the win at Camp Nou, even though they have Silasson starting nets, Mounier starting at striker. It's it's Barca. It's the Camp Nou. It's going to be a good game.
Mhm.
I'm excited to watch. And then Napoli's in control of their destiny.
Yeah.
I think, if they win, they go through no matter what. If they draw, it has to still rely on PSG's result.
Yeah.
It's a bit more complicated, but
Yeah.
you know what? I could actually see them pulling off the victory at Anfield.
I mean, I think, both paths, they're not going to be super easy. No walk in the park, no stretch of the imagination there. But, Inter, they're in a tough spot, as you guys mentioned. You know what? They have to get a result, and, they have to, depend on another game, which is always, tough, because if you have to depend on other teams, to get results, you're really going to have to count your blessings. But for Napoli, I mean, you know what? They got the result, the first time they faced Liverpool, and I don't see why they can't, get that again. I mentioned it pretty much every time Champions League rolls around. Ancelotti, man, he's really an upgrade, especially in Champions League. He's a winner. He knows how to win. He knows how to coach. And you know what? I think he'll definitely be the link that's definitely going to push them over the edge. In Champions League, and they have a bit more leeway, as you said. You know what? If they lose or if they draw, PSG's results kind of matter too. But I do think they can get a result, and I would definitely hope for them to win at Anfield.
And then tomorrow, Juventus and Roma. Less important games, let's say, because Juventus.
These teams are already in.
Yeah, they're both in.
Yeah.
The only thing to play for is Juventus. If they win Young Boys, they win the group. So they still have to decide that. Roma, for sure, they're finishing second in their group. There's literally nothing to play for.
No.
I have to check the table. Maybe Victoria Pleasant has something to play for in terms of Europa League. So exactly. So Pleasant and CSKA each are at 4 points. Pleasant has a tiebreaker. So they're fighting for Europa League. So it's going to be a do-or-die game for Pleasant. Roma is going to be a bit more relaxed. I think it's going to be more of a pride thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, sorry to cut you off there, Johnny, but I think they definitely have to, don't take this game too lightly. I know it doesn't mean anything, but with Roma's performances lately, they definitely shouldn't take this game too lightly, and they definitely should, test their lineup really well.
And, okay, so Europa League, we'll be talking about that after. Milan still has to fight.
Yeah.
Lazio, another team that guaranteed to go through. And you're listening to the Calcio Guys on CJO 1690. Thank you for listening to the Calcio Guys on CJO 1690 with Gianni Delacoli, Adriano Donardo, and myself, Nicholas DeGiovanni. I know I've said we're going to give her a shout out for a while. Your mom, Nancy.
Yes.
She's a real fan.
She's a true supporter of
Annunziata.
Annunziatina. She's definitely watching, and you know what? I love you.
One team who's not watching us right now, Milan.
Well, they should watch too.
They should watch too. I know.
I got the Donnarumma's jersey on. So
Yeah,
we should tag them on like Facebook and Instagram and everything.
I tagged. What was it when Empoli fired Aurelio Andreazzoli? I tagged them on Instagram and they didn't reply to me or anything.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Slowly. It's gonna build. Don't worry.
Is there an AFC replied to me?
Yeah.
When we talked about them, they sent me a bunch of blue hearts. I said, and then I asked in Italian, "Can you like repost this on your page or something?" And they left me on red.
Yeah.
Ouch! Sounds like a heartbreaker right there.
With the Serie A FC.
Yeah. So
Milan, they're in
Europa League.
Yeah, Europa League. Olympiacos tomorrow Thursday afternoon at 3.
Yeah.
Lazio's in Eintracht.
Frankfurt.
Yes, Frankfurt Eintracht.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know my German geography.
It's all good.
I know Berlin. The sky is blue in
Munich,
Berlin.
yeah.
There's Berlin, Munich, Frankfurt.
In the
There's so many great
2006.
cities. There's a lot of great cities in Germany.
Dortmund. That's where Italy played the semifinal in 2006. That's all I know from
that.
Do you remember playing the FIFA World Cup 2006 game on the PS2? And
of course.
Before the game, it would like do a Google Earth zoom in into the stadium.
Yes.
Your geography lesson right there.
Yeah, exactly. So Milan, like I said, so they're fighting for a spot in the round of 32. They're currently in second place, 3 points ahead of Olympiacos. They beat Olympiacos what 2-1?
Yeah, Buiso.
It was 2-1. So if they
need a result.
Yeah, so if they lose 1-0, if they lose 1-0, they're out. If they lose 2-1, I think they're still good. They lose 3-2, they're still good.
Yeah.
So
they have to score.
They have to score, exactly. They need to get the road goal because that's what it comes down to. But I say their chances are pretty safe.
I mean, it's kind of an inopportune time with Milan, with the depleted lineup, as we've been mentioning in previous shows. But they have been getting results. Gattuso's really working with what he has, and he's working them well, and he's getting decent results. This is a big game in Europa League. I understand it's only Europa League, but they definitely should take it seriously, and I think they could get a result against Olympiacos, and you know what? I'm hoping maybe Cutrone, Mr. Europa League, can definitely work some wonders in that game and maybe get a couple of goals, and they'll be on their way for sure.
So, Gianni, so Lazio is confirmed through to the next round in second place. Milan still has to fight for. Juventus, Roma, they're through in the Champions League. And then Inter, Napoli, they're still up in arms. I mean,
it's going to be
tough, but it's going to be hard for... Like, I don't see any of the 6 teams leaving Europe at all. Whether it be Inter going down to Europa League or Milan getting eliminated, I don't see any of the 6 teams leaving Europe at all.
I think all 6 teams pretty much have destiny. Well, right now, 4 out of the 6 pretty much already determined their destiny, but 2 of them are still like up in the air with it, and they're the ones that are going to be dictating whether they actually succeed or fail between Inter and Napoli. Napoli has to go in there like, okay, they're in Anfield, they're in a very, very, very tough stadium. Liverpool's a different monster at home, so it's not going to be a controlled game like it was back at the San Paolo. So you have to like really kind of set the tone early. Don't give them the ball, maintain that possession like Ancelotti likes to do, and they're the ones that are going to be deciding whether they're going to at least get a result from that game or if they're just going to lose. And in terms for Inter and PSV, they're in too much of a scary position to worry about the what ifs. They should just drive hard for the win, especially against PSV. It's a team that they're capable of beating. They've done it before and they could do it again. So honestly, it's up to them. They're the ones who decided.
I like that. All the teams should have that mentality going forward.
You want to go through predictions for this for the European team? So let's start Napoli and Liverpool. You know what? I say it's a draw. I say it's gonna be a 1-1 draw, and Napoli goes through.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with another 1-0 victory for Napoli. As we said previously, these games are important. You said Anfield is not an easy place to play. It'll definitely be tough, but I do think they could squeak away with a 1-0 victory against Liverpool.
I wrote down a 1-1 draw as well, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
Excellent.
Did you see? I killed it last week. I correctly predicted 4 games in the Serie A.
That's good for you.
You guys didn't do so well, so I'm just gonna brag here for a bit.
That's interesting. That's good for you.
It took like half the season for you to start doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess we'll give it to you this week.
Inter hosts PSV. Inter, because their Champions League life is on the line. I say they come up with the win 2-0.
2-0. I'm gonna say. I think PSV will probably squeak in a goal against Inter. Do they get more than one? I don't think so. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory for Inter and for them to go through as well.
I wrote down 2-1 for Inter as well. No.
Roma is in Pleasant, face Victoria Pleasant tomorrow afternoon. As I said before, means nothing for Roma, means everything for Pleasant. You know what? I say Pleasant comes out with a 2-1 victory.
No, I want to see Roma do well. So
they just tied Cagliari.
I understand, but Roma, it's not a team that deserves what I guess kind of what they're getting as a results and stuff like that. So I want them to go in there and not take this game lightly, and definitely put out a good performance, a good showing against Pleasant. I want to see even like a 3-0 victory for Roma.
Nick, you have a point where Roma's not going to take it as seriously, so it won't be a 5-0 victory for Roma. It's probably going to be a 2-0 victory for Roma.
Isn't that what he just said?
No, 3.
I said 3.
I say 3. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see
They're
how it goes.
They're going to take
tomorrow.
it lightly. They're going to win 2-0 only.
And then
let's hope.
Juventus is in Young Boys. I know that's in Switzerland, but I don't know the city. Young/boys. Switzerland.
We're no geography experts here.
Yeah, and Juventus, they have to win to confirm their spot as the winners of the group. So if they tie and Manchester wins against Valencia, Man U wins the group. So Juventus hypothetically still has everything to play for, because I know they want that first place in the group. That's something historically, under Allegri, under Conte, they've only won the group once, and that was in 2016, 2017. And they went on to the Champions League final that year. So they want that easier draw. So, they're going to Young Boys, not an easy team. They just went to Old Trafford, almost got the draw. Let's go 2-0 Juve.
I wrote down 2-0 Juve as well.
Okay, I'm gonna change it to 1-0 Juve.
1-0 Juve. Nah, screw it. I'm gonna go with the draw. I'll go 1-1. 1-1 draw.
So looking forward to the Serie A this weekend. It's gonna be hard to beat what happened this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though Juve is in another derby della Mole, this time against Torino, against crosstown rivals.
By the way, we just skipped Lazio, Frankfurt, and
we did.
Milan and Olympiacos.
That's true, we did, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, quickly the predictions.
So for the Lazio Frankfurt, I'm going 2-1 Lazio.
And Milan,
I'm going for the 1-1 draw.
you, Adriano, for the two games.
For Milan's game, I'm gonna go 2-1 Milan, and for the Lazio game, I'm gonna go 2-0.
I'll go 1-1 for Lazio, and then Milan 2-0. Let's go 2-0.
Fair.
Okay, so this weekend, Torino hosts Juventus in another derby for the Bianconeri. This is a derby that has been dominated by Gonzalo Higuain the past few years, and he's not there this year.
No.
It'll still be a good game. Torino's starting to pick it up. I can't wait to see Mazzarri do his watch.
You'll definitely get kicked out of this game. Definitely.
That's if he's allowed to coach in it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get kicked out, they suspend you for a game.
Yeah, but this guy, he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. He was like in like the dugout there still, kind of. So let's see, that's typical Mazzarri.
Do you see Belotti scoring against Juventus?
You know what? Honestly, no. I don't think Torino's sleeping again. The Giant is sleeping still. It's gonna wake up in a bit, but right now it's still in the snooze.
It's still.
Yeah, I would agree with Johnny. I mean, Belotti, I want him to do well, but against Juventus,
Too
it'll definitely be
inconsistent.
tough. Yeah,
Too
it's
inconsistent.
going to be tough. So I'm going to say no. I would hope so. Maybe another PK, but we'll definitely have to see on the weekend.
So this is a weird match day. It goes all the way until Tuesday. So it's going to cut into our show next week.
Show,
Bologna hosts Milan on Tuesday. I don't know why they do this. And by the way, we lied last week. We said there was soccer every day from the 4th until the 18th.
Yeah.
There was no soccer yesterday.
Okay.
So out of 13 out of 14 days in that span between Champions League, Coppa Italia, Serie A, there's always soccer going on. Besides the Derby della Mole, not too many good games. Atalanta hosts Lazio, a good, I guess, battle for Europa League spot on Monday. It seems like Atalanta plays a lot of these Monday games.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think also, Samp Parma should be a decent game as well.
You know what? I'm calling this one Fiorentina-Empoli is going to be a good game.
Fiorentina-Empoli?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not.
It's a derby, actually. They're the Tuscan...
Tuscan rivals, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Tuscan derby.
Yeah.
Forgot about it.
You think so?
I think so, too. I think that's probably going to be a great game as well. Probably looking forward more to seeing something pretty cool like Napoli winning against Cagliari 3-1, but it's okay.
This guy, man, over here.
I had to just slip that in there.
No, for sure.
They have to go over the ocean and get to Cagliari first.
Yeah, it's okay. Battle the beaches, why not? Or the islands.
For sure.
Well, I mean, even Roma, they had to do the same thing last weekend. So during the return fixtures, Cagliari's going to have to go to Rome, go back home, go to Napoli, go back home.
It's a lot of travel.
It must be tough for Cagliari.
No, for sure.
For all that traveling. Or when Palermo was in the Serie A, even now that they're in the Serie B, I mean, they're an island, they're isolated. It's even worse in Sardinia. Okay, so we got a couple of minutes before the Techno Stop with Eric O'Mora, so we'll quickly go through our predictions. Inter hosts Udinese on Saturday at 12. So actually, there's no Saturday 9 a.m. game this week. It starts at Saturday at 12, no Friday game.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Inter Udinese.
I think I'd rather the Friday than all the way to the Tuesday, to be honest, but
yeah.
It is what it is.
So Inter Udinese, I say 3-1 Inter.
3-1 Inter. I'll go 2-0 Inter.
2-0 Inter for me.
We didn't do Torino Juventus, no?
No, we
do.
didn't.
What do you say?
2-0 Juve.
2-0 Juve. I'll probably stick with that as well. 2-0 Juve.
Same here.
Okay,
Wow.
bosses.
These are what I wrote down. Okay, it's not my fault. I write these before the show.
Okay.
You wrote it on the bus here?
No, actually at home.
While you were in
before.
traffic.
Spal Chievo. Chievo's picking up. They've been undefeated now in like 4 straight games. Spal, they tied this weekend. You know what? I'm gonna predict a Chievo win again. I say 1-0 Chievo.
1-0 Chievo. I'm gonna stick with their draws. I'm gonna stick with definitely the draws. I'll go 1-1 draw.
I'm gonna go for a 0-0 draw.
That's actually a Sunday at 6:30. Frosinone Sassuolo. So again, we have 2 minutes. So we'll do these last few games quickly. Frosinone Sassuolo 1-1.
1-1. I'm gonna go 2-1 Sassuolo.
2-0 Sassuolo.
Fiorentina hosts Empoli. I said that's gonna be a good game. 3-2 Empoli.
3-2 Empoli. I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
2-1 Fiorentina.
Sampdoria and Parma, another good game. Let's go 2-1 Parma.
2-1 Parma. I'm gonna go 2-1 Sampdoria. Actually,
Same here. 2-1 Sampdoria.
And then Cagliari hosts Napoli, coming off that big win against Roma. I say Cagliari actually pulls off the
Big draw, not big win.
Because you said that, I was about to say draw. Because you said that, I'm gonna say win 1-0.
1-0.
Wow.
For who? Cagliari?
Yeah, for Cagliari.
No, that's not bad.
Wow, disrespect.
It is a bit of disrespect, but I'm gonna go 3-0 Napoli.
3-1 Napoli.
Last 3 games quickly now. Roma, Genoa.
2-1 Roma for me.
1-1 draw.
0-0. Atalanta, Lazio. I'm gonna go 2-1 Lazio.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Lazio.
2-1 Lazio.
And then finally, Bologna hosts Milan. 3-0 Milan.
2-0 for my boys Milan.
1-0 Milan.
Yeah, nobody thinks Bologna is going to win, not even them.
No.
If you follow Daniele Labotti on Twitter, who we had a few weeks ago, he's not happy at all. They've just been sinking and sinking and sinking.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
This show's not sinking. This show's going up. We have one more show before the break. Johnny, this is your last episode in 2018.
Yes, because I have to work next Tuesday, so that's unfortunate.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter, the Calcio Guys. Follow myself and Johnny on Twitter.
Yeah.
You'll see our names on the video.
Hashtag get Adri on Twitter.
Yeah. 2019 mission there.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao.